Hi, my name's Keith, and today I'm going to do a Bible study. And today's focus is going to be the law, um, or also referred to, I should say, as the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. So people are supposed to follow the Mosaic covenant, which like what I said, that's the first 5 books of the Bible. Um, and a lot of it's history, so I mean, like most of the book of Genesis is history. There's a few covenants in there. The Abrahamic covenant, um, which I believe is in Genesis chapter 17. Um, and then, and then there's like more of the actual laws as you get into like Exodus, which has the um, Old Covenant, which is Exodus chapter 20, um, the entire chapter through Exodus chapter 24, verse 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to explain the differences between the New and the Old Covenant, since I mentioned the covenant. In the Old Covenant, people are supposed to die for breaking it. In the New Covenant, the Messiah's blood covers those transgressions, so people don't die as a result of those sins. So the book of Hebrews mentions the New Covenant. So the Messiah, after he died, he became the high priest of Melchizedek. Melchizedek isn't really mentioned much in the Bible. He's mentioned in Genesis chapter 14, verses 18 through 20. He is like a high priest, and what tells you he was very important is that Abraham, who God made a covenant with later on in the Bible, actually paid homage to him. So definitely means a man of importance, even though he's only mentioned in those 3 verses basically. Prior to being referred to, prior to the Messiah being referred to as the high priest of Melchizedek in the book of Hebrews. So, with that said, in the New Covenant, like I said, people don't die for breaking it. The Messiah's blood, that's what it was shed for. The Levitical priesthood is gone as far as like sin offerings go. So, like, if you commit a sin, you don't have to go sacrifice an animal to atone for that sin. Most people nowadays don't even have animals to do that. So, and if that was the case, there'd be a lot of people that would be out of luck. Anyway, the Messiah also finished as being the high priest, as he is now seated at the right hand of the Father. So being seated means he's done with being the high priest. He did all his work and he's done now. Just kind of looking over some notes here. And like I said, people are supposed to follow the first 5 books of the Bible, which is called the Torah. And yeah, those are like the basic laws. So God has laws in there for a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of this. I'm going to read Leviticus chapter 11, which are the dietary laws. Now, these laws are to actually protect your health. So it's very important. God is our creator. And he said, don't eat certain things. Some of the reasons he said not to eat them is because they'll protect you against parasites. Certain animals are unclean. They eat stuff that's, or they do things that are basically pretty nasty, and we shouldn't be partaking in that. But most of it is to protect you from parasites and things that could make you really, really sick. So anyway, I'm going to start off and I'm going to read Leviticus chapter 11. I'm going to read the whole chapter, and I'll start from the beginning. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. For those that don't know, a cloven hoof is a divided hoof. So, like a horse doesn't have a cloven hoof. Its hoof is one whole part. So you're not supposed to eat a horse. Think like a deer or a sheep. Anyway, back to that. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. Rabbits or hares are also known to be high in parasites. And the swine, pig, though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Because they're also known for being very high in parasites. And other flesh ye shall not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall you eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, and the ostrich, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gyre eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep, going upon all four, shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the hulled locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whoever toucheth the carcass of them shall be unclean until the even. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. The carcasses of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all 4, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the even. And he that touched the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. They're unclean unto you. Those also shall be unclean unto you. Among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. These are unclean to you. All that creep, whosoever doth touch them, when they are dead, shall be unclean until the even. And and upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put in the water, and it shall be unclean until the even, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel wherein any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Of all the meat which may be eaten, that that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether it be oven or ranges for pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and they shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or a pit wherein there is plenty of water shall be clean, but that which toucheth their carcass shall be unclean. And if any part of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed which is to be thrown or sown, it shall be clean. If any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination, it shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all four, or whatsoever hath more feet among all creeping things that creep on the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth. Neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them, that ye shall be defiled thereby. For I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Holy means set apart. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall go before. You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth. To make a difference between the unclean and clean, and between the beasts that may be eaten and the beasts that may not be eaten. So I'm going to read one more verse that's kind of about food. And it's Leviticus chapter 19, verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with blood, neither shall you use enchantment nor observe times. So the first part is what I want to talk about, is you should not eat anything with blood. So every type of meat you eat should be well done. There's actually a way to kill meat, where you basically cut the neck, slit the windpipe, and the two arteries that are around it. And what that does is the animal dies, and as it's dying, the heart and the brain is still calling for oxygen, so the blood's still pumping. So the blood essentially pumps out through the neck, through the veins that are cut. That's how Passover lambs are actually killed. So if there's no blood in the meat, yeah, you're supposed to observe Passover. That's part of the covenant. But anyway, I'm gonna just kind of keep going here. But well done meat. So you're getting rid of all the blood. cooked food in oil. Um, so you can fry it. Like I said, well done. Flip it over. Baste it as you're cooking it to get blood off of it. And yeah. So anyway, the old covenant, the Torah also talks about laws that regarding relationships. So, for example, it says like who you can marry, who you can't. I'm not going to go super into detail about this. It says a man can't marry his daughter. That's kind of common sense still in today's day and age. Well, maybe not. Suppose a lot of that stuff's going on, but it used to be common sense. So anyway, there's like different laws that are not even like that. It's about how you conduct yourself, if you will. So it tells you what and what isn't acceptable. Essentially, who you can and can't marry. Also, conduct within the family. So, for example, a father's not supposed to see his young daughter naked or even his young son naked. Obviously, if it comes time and there's like a child that's in diapers, they can change their child's diapers. It's kind of understandable. Or if they have a child that needs help using a bathroom, that's understandable. But after that, a father shouldn't see his teenage daughter naked for sure. I mean, that's definitely, against conduct. Or his teenage son naked. Or vice versa, the child's not supposed to see their parents naked. So that's kind of some of the conduct, for example. And also, like the law mentions that people are supposed to provide for relatives. Typically, it would be more so younger, people providing for elderly people. Like if you're a young child or you're a child, you're supposed to like take care of your parents in their golden years. You're supposed to help them. The law also talks about how to be hygienic. So it talks about clean things. What's unclean? So for example, there could be a dead animal. Like how did it die? It could be unclean. So we're spiritual beings. So touching this stuff that's unclean makes us spiritually unclean. And I was just gonna give a testimony of that. So I moved down to Alabama and been living on a farm or on a homestead. And what had happened was I had a cat with me, and my cat died. My cat got super sick. I actually went somewhere, and my cat was basically like pretty much dying. I saw that. I took it out of my place. Put it in a box, wrapped it up in a blanket. Could tell it was doing pretty well, pretty bad. Anyway, I went somewhere. About an hour and a half away from where I'm living, and the gentleman whose land I'm staying on, gave me a call and said, "Hey, your cat's pretty much dead. What I can do is put it out of its misery." And I gave him the go ahead to do it because I saw how bad my cat was before that, and I was like, "Yeah, you can do that." So when I came back, my cat was basically dead. I had to bury it, and cats are unclean animals. So after I buried my cat, I was spiritually unclean. I had to take a bath, and I was unclean till night. I had to clean my entire house, because this cat could have had some kind of disease. So I cleaned my house from top to bottom. Yeah. So anyway, that happened to me. And I took care of it. I survived, but it's like I got rid of any evidence of disease that my cat may have had that may have possibly got me sick. So that's why I was cleaning everything top to bottom. That's why I took a bath and all that other stuff. Anyway, body fluids are another thing that make people unclean. So any kind of body fluid, especially like the seed after sex or during sex. So both parties are unclean, and you're unclean for a day. I have another testimony. So this guy I was staying with all of a sudden calls me for something. He's kind of frantic, and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what's going on. I was just literally painting something. I got, I had gloves on, so he's like, hey, I need something. Like, I had a ring on my hand. He's like, I need this. And like, I'm gonna do something to it. I'm like, okay. So like, I got paint. I got like I said, EMS gloves, latex or EMS gloves on, like those thin gloves, so I don't get paint on my hands. So I got those on my hands, and one of them tore, so I got it off, and I'm having a hard time getting the other one off because it's dark outside. And he's calling me just frantically. I'm kind of running up, like thinking something's wrong. And he comes up to me. He's like, "I need your ring." He's like, "I need your ring." And all of a sudden, he tries taking it off, and it fits super tight. Next thing I know, he just spits on my hand. And he's like, "You're unclean tomorrow." I'm like, and he yanks my ring off. And I'm like, well, I guess I could have took it off. But he's like, yeah, you're no. He said, "You're unclean for a week." And I'm like, okay. Well, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, so I was actually unclean for a week because he spit on my hand. So that's like part of the things about cleanliness and uncleanliness, and things in the Bible. So you have to take baths and do all kinds of processes to clean yourself up. And yeah, so in that case, I had to do that. But the Bible also tells you how to deal with sick people. How to care for them. How priests treat them and what priests are actually supposed to do for them. I'm not going to go super in depth with the rest of this, but it's just kind of an introductory to the law, and the main part was about the food law, and that you're supposed to follow the whole Torah, and a little bit about the covenant. So a lot of people think like there's a new covenant and they don't have to do any of the old covenant. No, that's not quite how it works. But anyway, I just figured I'd do this video as a learning tool for some people, and I hope everyone finds this video finds the right person and can bless you. All praise to the Most High, and Amen.